Welcome to Medicare Lagniappe, where we cut the confusion on all your Medicare-related questions and cover topics plus real-life scenarios to empower you for a better understanding of your Medicare options today.
Welcome to Medicare Lagniappe, Fussell's Group's premier site for learning everything about Medicare. My name is Angel France Duga. I am actually the director of training and at the Fussell Group. And you know what? Today I'm here with the owner of the Fussell Group, Tyler Fussell. I'm so
Hi,
excited.
Angel. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
So we're talking about one of our favorite subjects today. Am I right?
Yep, talking about drugs, baby. We're talking about all the things that you can see. Yeah. So we're talking about the prescription drug plan. Yes.
Which is projected to do what next year?
It is changing. It is changing. The Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, which was put into effect in 2022, part of that had to do with the prescription drug plan. With that, it means that the most a senior can spend out of pocket on their prescription drugs is $2,000 a year, starting in 2025.
Okay, so what does that mean for the carriers, the manufacturers? Where is that going?
All right, so let me give my whole spiel on it.
I love your spiel. Go for it.
All right,
gotta talk about those drugs.
Yes, got to talk about the drugs. So, okay. Inflation Reduction Act goes into effect for 2025. What that means is, as you know, currently with a prescription drug plan, you have a deductible, an initial coverage, you have the donut hole, coverage gap, or as I like to refer to it, the abyss, and then you have catastrophic coverage. Well, for 2024, catastrophic coverage went away. That was covered completely by the drug carrier and the drug manufacturer.
So when somebody goes into catastrophic right now, they pay
nothing.
They pay zero.
Absolutely nothing. So right now is in 2024, the client has a deductible, the initial coverage limit, and the coverage gap. Once they max out the coverage gap, I think that number is 4,700. Is that
5,030?
I'm sorry, 5,030. I'm thinking a year, but back.
Yeah. How can we keep all the years together?
That's
Come
the problem.
on. That's
they change it every year. So once they max out $5,030 of actual drug costs or true out of pocket, then they go into what they call the catastrophic phase. For 2024, that was erased. So once they maxed that out, the 50/30, they didn't pay another copay in prescription drugs until 2025. Okay? Now, let's fast forward to 2025 because when we talk coverage and plans, we're now talking for the new year, 2025. That is when IRA, Inflation Reduction Act, kicks in. The Inflation Reduction Act says the most out of pocket a senior or somebody on a Medicare prescription drug plan or Medicare Advantage with a prescription drug plan can pay for year 2025 is $2,000. Now, that's a double-edged sword.
You think?
Let's talk about it. Ready? Yes, financially, that could be great for seniors because the most they're going to pay out of pocket is $2,000 as opposed to what they were paying in previous years. But with that, we know with all things come consequences. And here come the consequences. There's good consequences and there's bad consequences. The good consequence is that the client is going to be able to save multiple dollars, hopefully, on their prescription drugs by having a $2,000 max. The negative of it. The negative, let's start with the insurance carrier. The insurance carrier is now picking up the cost of that from $2,000 up. So let's say you have a client who's currently on a lot of medications, and right now they may go into the coverage gap, say March. Well, they're in the coverage gap through March, and they would typically come out of the coverage gap by August or September. Well, now, starting in 2025, Once they hit March, they will not have another copay for the remainder of the year. They would hit the coverage gap and not have a copay. What happens is the carrier is now picking up that expense. So, on top of that, carriers reimbursement from CMS has now been, which is the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, has now been reduced as well. It's been reduced by 1.7%. Now, to you and me, 1.7% may not be a lot of money. But to carriers who are paying astronomical claims constantly, that is a huge cut. Not only are they paying claims, but they're having to offer benefits, correct?
Correct, 100%.
And salaries and commissions, the whole bit. So that's a big loss for them. So you have the Inflation Reduction Act with the $2,000 max. Carriers are also being cut 1.7% on reimbursement, and you see where it's starting to squeeze. So what you'll see happen starting for 2025, your standalone prescription drug plans, those that are married with a Medicare supplement, you're going to see those take a hit. You're going to see those that may have very low premiums, like the $1.50 premium, the $20 premium, maybe even the $50 premium. Those are going to shoot up exorbitantly because they have to have somewhere where they can absorb the cost. You're going to see copays. So your $7 for, tier 2 generic, a zero copay for a generic, $45 for a brand name. Those are all going to be increased. What you're also going to see happen is your formularies. Formularies are what categorize the drugs and where they fall in the formularies. Those are going to be reduced significantly. So we're trying to get the word out to members. Whether you're on a Medicare Advantage with a prescription drug plan or you're on a standalone prescription drug plan, it is very important that you get in touch with your agent now, because agents are needing to get in touch with you to get all of your current drugs, get a list of them.
That's right.
Get your doctors, all of that information, make sure it's all up to date, because what they want to do is start running things and start preparing, not necessarily running, but start preparing files for you. So when the new plans are unveiled to us October 1st, they can automatically start shooting that information in and find the prescription drug plan that best fits your needs. Because ultimately, whether you're on a Medicare Advantage or you're on a standalone prescription drug plan, your drug coverage must always come first, because that is where a senior is going to spend the majority of their money. So for an agent, that's where their focus should be, is let's look at prescription drugs first. What's covered, what's not. And then if they're on a Medicare Advantage, then they can go into looking at their physicians and see if physicians are going to be on a plan where the prescription drug coverage is the best.
Okay. So let's take it into a reality and let's give it a scenario.
So that's the big thing. Let's chop it up now.
Let's chop.
Yeah. Gave you the big overflow. Let's chop.
So let's just do a scenario. I currently have a client that previous to 2024 in 2023 spent about $26,000 a year out of pocket, literally.
Right.
They literally were spending that much money. Even though there was a cap, they were still spending some kind of exorbitant amount. Then in this year, because everything got reduced, when they went to catastrophic, it went to zero.
Correct.
They went to paying about maybe $8,000. Next year, those people are only going to spend $2,000 max.
Right.
So just like Tyler's saying, I want you to think about this. Either the individual has to take it up.
Correct.
The manufacturer who's doing it now, correct, majority.
Correct.
Or the plan. And next year, that plan is going to consume
that cost.
They're
going to consume that $24,000 between the $26,000 max that they were spending and the new max of $2,000. That plan's now going to absorb that.
Okay. So that's on one end. Sounds really good. So let's take the other scenario.
Yep.
The other scenario is we're looking at taking that same client. Take that same client and let's look at it from a point of view of, now let's take another client who doesn't take that expensive drug, if you don't mind.
Perfect.
Let's take somebody else.
Perfect.
Right now they're on tier 1 and tier 2s. They're paying $0 to $5 in something like that. Maybe they acquired an Ozempic or a Jardiance or some other kind of medicine.
Yes.
That they're just getting in the donut hole probably around maybe their 6th month.
Yep.
All right. However, that the tier 1 and tier 2s could actually transfer over to tier 3s.
Correct. Those generics could now come up in cost, depending on what they are.
So that person that might be going in the donut hole in probably June might go pay everything up even in March.
So correct. So they may meet their $2,000 max in March. So as I was saying, for the client perspective, that's great. They're saving money, which is what you want to happen. However, the flip side of it, there's always consequences. The bad side is it's got to take a hit somewhere. And where is that hit coming from?
Deductibles, probably.
Because I say all the time, you can't expect an insurance carrier to give you everything for free. They are not a not-for-profit. They are a for-profit industry.
Yeah.
And I think what a lot of people don't understand is insurance carriers work on a very small...
What is that percentage they can make? It's a very small percentage.
It's a very small percentage. I want to say it's almost, dare I say, maybe a 10% profit? Maybe. It's probably less. And this has been in force since 2012.
That's government rule.
Yes, it's the government rule. They can only make a small percentage. So out of that gross that they're making, or that net that they're making, they have to pay salaries, they have to pay benefits, they have to pay claims, they have to pay agent commissions. They're a working business. Right. And I'm not sitting here waving my flag saying, stop, let's not bash the insurance carrier. But I try to always explain to my agents and to my clients that it is a business and they have to make a profit. They have shareholders that they're responsible for, that they have to answer to. They have Wall Street they have to answer to. They have the government they have to answer to. And most importantly, they have the client and you and me. So they have to have some cushion. Well, that cushion is now being absorbed by having to eat these costs. And again, let me remind you, their reimbursement from the government for 2025 has been cut by 1.7%. That's huge. That's huge. So the double-edged sword here is that it's going to have to give in benefits. And look, we hear talk on the street from an agent perspective, we're likely taking cuts, and that's okay. That's okay. Our job is to make sure the client is in the right plan, that the client has everything they need, and that our main focus is the client. That's okay. You do the right thing, it always comes back for you. Or it always comes back in good, twofold. So back to what I was saying is it's going to have to give somewhere. And it's going to give when it comes to deductibles being raised, premiums being increased, likely to the tune of what some Medicare supplements look like right now. Co-pays are going to be increased to what they're not used to. And again, formularies are going to be reduced. You're not going to see your big expensive medications on these formularies. Seniors are going to have to find ways to get their medications for that. Canadian pharmacies. There's a program we use right now that helps the member apply for coverage with some of the drug manufacturers so they can get reduced rates.
There's also grants in there as
There's
well.
There's also grants as well.
And they have some hidden ones in there too.
Yes.
From like just private outsourced foundations too. So it's a
Yes.
really good program.
They are. So again, one more reason a client needs an agent, especially a Fussell Group agent, because we know all these. I'm sorry, I'm going to put that little dig there. We don't know all the
I was
ins and
getting ready
outs.
to say that because not everybody uses that program that we're
Correct.
talking
No,
about.
they don't. They don't. But Fussell Group does. We do our best to try to make sure the client is getting the most for their money, the biggest bang for their buck. And whether it's helping them with getting a grant or getting their medications reduced through the manufacturer, or even getting them signed up for LIS, or getting them signed up for medical spin down. I'm sorry, what is it? Medicaid spin down.
Medicaid spend down. That's another
Yes,
big
that's
option.
another big option as well.
We talk about that all the time too.
Right. So, we're here to help. But yes, it's important that we're getting the word out right now to people about the changes that are coming. Word on the street is it will slightly affect the Medicare Advantage plans this year, but 2026 we should expect to see some big
Hold
changes.
on to our seats.
Hold on to our seats. Hold on to our seats. So, that's the word we're wanting to get out right now. It's super important that you speak with an agent. If you have a Fussell Group agent, call our office. We'll get you in contact with them. If you don't have an agent, please call our office. Let us help you. Don't try to do this by yourself. It's going to be way too confusing, way too cumbersome. The worst thing you're going to have to do for us is give us a list of your medications so we can try to find the right plan for you, because it's going to be the Wild West, this AEP, when it comes to prescription drug coverage. And if you have an agent that's not with the Fussell Group, reach out to them. Reach out to them now and say, I hear there's changes coming. How can you help me? No, we can't tell you what the plans are going to look like because we don't even know at this point. But we can start getting your drug list, start getting your physician list. So we have all of that information. So October 1, all we do is push the button and we start populating what is best for you.
And the reason you're saying that is because as an agent, we cannot even look at these plans until October 1st.
Correct. We cannot discuss them with anyone until October 1st.
And plus the formulary is not even published yet for
No.
even us to look at.
Correct.
We're
Correct. No. In fact, insurance carriers right now are still trying to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
So insurance carriers go through something called bid season. And it runs everywhere from February until the beginning of June. And where they submit bids to CMS, and CMS red lines and change this, change that, and they bring it back and they get the actuaries and they try to figure it all out. Well, right now, it's, as you can imagine, it's mass chaos between the actuaries, the Medicare Advantage plans, the prescription drug plan carriers, and CMS trying to figure this all out. So they don't even know what their drug plans look like right now, but they can say, they have told us, expect major changes. Expect major changes. So now is the time for us to do our due diligence and get with our clients and get their information.
So if somebody wanted to get in touch with the Fussell Group, what is that phone number?
Number is 985-875-7407. We are statewide. We have agents in Monroe, Shreveport, Alexandria, Lake Charles, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, North Shore, South Shore, and the Bayou. We cover the entire state. We also have several agents on the Gulf Coast, in the Mississippi Gulf Coast, as well as in the Jackson area. So we are here to help. We just need you to reach out to us and let us know you want our help.
Right. And you have other agents that are licensed in other states as well.
We do. We have an agent that's licensed over in the Phoenix City, Alabama, Columbus, Georgia market. Like I said, we have agents in around the Mississippi area, Jackson South.
Right.
We also now have a new agent in the Missouri area.
Wow. Get in touch with us because we have an agent. We can find them for you.
Yes,
Trust us.
we can put you in touch with someone. It's super important that people start doing their work now.
Yeah.
You don't want to wait until October 1st because agents are just going to be slam this AEP.
They will be. And you know what? I'm going to bring one other thing up is the scope of appointment. Just know that every agent has to have a scope of appointment 48 hours in advance of speaking to you.
Correct.
So they are going to ask you for that as well.
Yes. A lot of agents right now, because the scope of appointment is good for 12 months.
I love
the scope of appointment is good for 12 months.
Yes.
They're going to start reaching out now to their current books of business saying, hey, even if you're a current client of theirs, they still have to have that scope of appointment to talk to you. Hey, can I go ahead and get that signed, have it on file, so when AEP hits, I have everything and I can just start pumping out what I need to do.
Yep. And I can send you what you need, tell you to stay. This is the best one for you, what fits you, and
Yes,
on and on
yes,
and on.
yes,
And that's the biggest
yes.
thing. We want to make sure we have what they need and
Right.
give them what they need for 2025 to step into that world.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, you know what? We've talked about drugs, and I'm going to let Tyler sing a song because she has been playing with this all morning. We've been playing with this.
I am not.
Because we're talking about what?
We're talking about drugs, baby. Talking about you and me. All the crazy chaos that the drug plan will be. Let's talk about drugs.
All right, guys. Thank you. You were awesome.
You're awesome. Thanks.
Woo-hoo!
Thanks.
All right, that's all we have for today. Thank Tyler, the owner of the Fussell Group, for being here and
Absolutely.
joining us. Guys, like, subscribe, join us on all of our events. You'll have a blast. Don't forget our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're everywhere. We're here for you. Talk about you and drugs, baby.
Yes. Bye.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
watching. This has been a Fussell Group Insurance Advisors educational production series. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe and stay on the lookout for more. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and visit our website, fgiala.com.